Everyone please be seated.
Kindly settle down fast. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I really, on behalf of GRE School of Institutions, cordially welcome Mr. Prashant Tripathi. It's indeed honor to have you, sir, here. Now I request Namrata to welcome sir with the bouquet. Thank you, Namrata. Sir is an alumnus of IIT Delhi and Ahmedabad with experience in both managerial and consulting roles in prestigious companies like TCS, GE, ECS and BCCL, and a short stint as a bureaucrat in civil services. He has also conducted workshops at TIS Mumbai, IIT Delhi, MDI Gurgaon, IMT Ghaziabad and Samvaad Pune. He is also a founder and director of Advait Live Education. Advait was founded in 2006 and it has a vision to help and realize the potentialities inherent in individuals and partner them in having a fulfilling and rewarding personal and professional life. It works upon the principle of interconnectedness and oneness of all life and life functions. I would like Sir to enlighten us more about the topic work-life integration.
All right. So what is work? When we say work, what do we mean?
Any activity they do.
It's a duty.
Your responsibilities.
A responsibility, a job, duty, responsibility, a job, and then somebody said anything that we do.
Yes.
Anything that we do. So, but when you say that I must speak on work-life integration, does it mean the integration of anything that you do with life? When you say work-life integration, what is the sense in which you have used the word work here?
Professional life.
Professional life. Yes.
What do you mean by professional life? The moment you have put this word professional in front of life, you obviously mean that there are lives of more than one kind, of which a particular kind is professional. What do you mean by professional life?
The life you spend with your profession while you work for your profession.
A day-to-day working in every other transaction that we do in our profession.
What do you mean by profession?
A regular work done for earning.
A regular work done for
Earning.
earning. So work done for earning. Work done for earning. Work done for earning. Okay. What else is meant by profession?
So it could be someone's passion.
The skills you own.
Whatever I like to do.
And what do the skills help you with?
Work.
Yeah, right.
To
work.
excel
But
in
then
that work area.
to excel in that work area.
Exactly.
And what does excellence give you?
Success.
Find success.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
So whichever way you look at it, what you are saying is that when you talk of work-life integration, firstly you mean professional work. Professional work. And when you talk of work, of professional work that is, then you mean work that is being done for something, for success, for satisfaction, for livelihood, for earning, for what else?
Status in society.
Respectability, status and
For family.
for family. And somebody had quipped earlier for the sake of duty and responsibility. That is what professional work is about. Something that you do for a livelihood, for getting what you call as your success, your dreams, aspirations, for being called respectable, for holding a status. Right? That is what you call professional work. Now let's look at it closely. If that is what professional work is, then it is always being done for the achievement of an end. Right?
Yes.
Right? You are working so that an end is achieved. Correct? So this professional work is nothing but a means to an end. A means to an end. The end lies somewhere else. The end lies in your salary check. The end lies in the brand that you can now identify yourself with. The end lies in the status and respectability that it gives you. The end lies in the feeling of being able to meet your responsibilities. The end lies there. Correct? Now, by definition, if this is work, just a means, then your end always lies in future. Then your end always lies in future. Are you getting it? You work today for the achievement of a goal, which is status or money or something else, in the future. That future could range from a few hours to a few years to an entire lifetime, whatever, depends. But the end always lies in the future, right? That is what work to you is all about, correct? Where does life lie? Where does life lie?
Present.
In the present. Let's try, all of us, taking a few breaths in the future. Let's all of us try taking a few breaths in the future. Where does life lie? Life is right now. Life is, as I am speaking and as you are hearing, even as we are doing all of this is life. Alright? Now you have already created a huge rift, something which actually cannot be bridged. Your work is for an end that always lies in the future. Life is today, and that is precisely the reason why there is a need in your mind to talk of work-life integration. Right? Otherwise, do you talk of, integrating eating in life? Do you talk of integrating walking in life? Do you talk of integrating sleeping in life? Do you talk of integrating loving in life? You never talk of integrating them because they are life. Hence, any talk of integrating breathing with life would be stupid or downright stupid, because that is life. Any talk of integration assumes that there is already a separation. Unless there is a separation, there is no question of integration. Are you getting it? Now, what is it that we are doing? Firstly, we are creating a disorderly situation in which we are divorcing, separating work from life. We are creating a situation in which life is today, but our aspirations, the ends, are all in the distant future. And then, because of the pain it gives us, because of the conflict that arises in our mind, then we hold on to a nice phrase like work-life integration, and we hop around thinking how to achieve it, how to achieve work-life integration. My question to you is, why did you separate work and life in the first place? What made you make work into an entity that must always have an end in the future? Why? You see, when you walk, does it have an end in the future? Yeah? If you are listening to me attentively at this moment, does the end lie in the future? Or are you sufficient in this moment, in the present? How many of you, even as you are listening to me, how many of you are thinking of the future? That in what ways would this discussion help you in the future? How many of you are already thinking about that? And if you are already thinking about that, then can you listen to me? Anybody who is actually listening would testify that when you are really listening, when you are really into what is happening, then you couldn't really be thinking of the future. And this is work. This is work. Anybody here who disagrees that listening attentively to what I am saying is not work? If this is not work, then attending any of those corporate meetings too cannot be work. Because there also you do exactly the same. You listen and then you speak. You interact. And this too is an interactive discussion, right? So as you nod, you are actually interacting with me. I may be doing most of the talking, but you too are an active participant. In your listening, you are active. Right? So this is work. But do you have any end in the future right now when you listen? Not when you are distracted, not when your mind is wandering. When you are actually listening, at that moment, are you roaming around in the future? At the moment when you are deeply into it, is future there at all? Is the thought of future there at all? It's not. It cannot be. You could either be here or be calculating that how this would enrich your future. You cannot be simultaneously in the two places. That's a law of the mind. When you sleep, you do not sleep in order to enrich your future. Well, there may be some depraved souls who may be very calculative in that also. But a normal, sane human being does not sleep in order to enrich his future. You walk, you breathe, you look at the trees, you talk to somebody, you love somebody. You do not do with an eye on the future. You do not do that. And hence, there is no question of love-life integration. Well, I understand. We are living in times where even that may become a necessity. But at least, presently, because it is not so common, so you get the irony of the whole thing, right? You do get it. You see where I am coming from and what I am pointing at. Do you ever say? Yeah.
I have a doubt. Does present exist in this book?
Does present?
We say it is your present because we are measuring in years, either in months, or in days, or it could be in hours. When we start measuring it in seconds or fraction of seconds, there is no present. Either it is in future or past.
Yes.
Whatever I have listened before 1 minute, that has become my past.
Right.
And what is present then?
It's a fundamental mistake to think of the present as something that is there on the scale of time. You would always be deceived if you try to capture the present as some kind of a nanosecond or something. That it is the smallest unit of time that I can look at. If you do that, then exactly the same thing that you just mentioned would happen. Till the time you call it a present moment, it has already become the past. That would happen. The reason is, you are trying to look at the present through the medium of thought. You are trying to think about the present. And what did I just say? You could either be in the present or think. Thinking about the present will take you away from the present. And that is your dilemma. That's the moment I try to capture the present, it slips away. Because what is your way of capturing? Thought. Thought is the medium through which you try to capture the present. It will slip away. It will slip away. The present can only be passed through, experienced. And that is in attention, not in thought. That is in attention, not in thought. Any thought, even the slightest of thought about the present, you may as well deceive yourself thinking that I am in the present, but then that would be just that, a deception.
No, the point is, several people have said you are caring about, you are worried about your future. But I always think, when should I be, where's my present? When I start measuring, do I enjoy my present?
You are not listening to it. The moment you think about the present, there is no present. Thought itself is either in the past or in the future. So till the time you have an obsession with thought, present will remain a thought only, an imagination. All thought is an imagination. Thought is not a reality. All thought is an imagination. And you are trying to come to the present as if you are somewhere else by using thought. You are trying to come to the present as if you are somewhere else by using thought, and that will not lead you anywhere. So don't think about it. Be there. And it's not difficult. I have been speaking since the last maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but several of you would have experienced a few seconds when you were not really thinking about the future. They were in the present. But then they were not even thinking that they are in the present. Your problem is, all your education and conditioning, it has repeatedly told us that we are what we think. So thought has become very important to us. We do not understand thought. We have no understanding of what this thing called thought is. But we latch on to thinking so much so that we do not exist. Our entire existence is just a thought in our mind. We have ceased to exist. We are just an imagination that we hold about ourselves. And that is courtesy, our education and upbringing. So I think that I am this. I think that I am that. I think I am an Indian. I think I am a PGDM student. I think I am confident. I think I am insecure. And behind all of this thinking, what I may really be, I have no understanding of that. So when it comes to reality, and a present moment is the reality, even when it comes to reality, what do we try to do? We think about the reality. We think about the reality. But reality cannot be captured through the medium of thought. Now what does that mean? You see, when work just becomes a means. All of you are PGDM students, second year?
Yes, sir.
This question is of extreme importance to you for obvious reasons. What does it mean when work becomes just a means to an end that lies in the future. I take up a job, a company visits my campus, I take up a job because it seems to offer a fat paycheck. And I don't hold anything against fat paychecks. Nothing at all. But there is something against the mind that is very easily deceived by them. That mind needs to be inquired into. Now, which day of the month do I get a paycheck? Say the 1st or the 10th or the 15th, one particular day. And how many days are there in the month? Now the end lies on the 30th. That is the end that I am targeting. Right? That is the end that I am targeting. And how many days am I going to live? I will get my salary check on one particular day. And how many days am I going to spend living? How many days? All 30 days. Now what will be the quality of this living? Because you see, what is it that you have declared? You have declared that the real thing is there in the future. I am working for the sake of status and respectability and money and career growth and ambition. So the real thing lies somewhere there. And when am I living? Today and here. Right now and here. The real thing is there. So by implication, if the real thing is then and there, then by implication, this is nothing. I have already declared that where I am and what I am doing is nothing, is of no value. Because the dream world that I am targeting lies there in the future. The dream world that I am targeting lies there. This is just a means to an end. So obviously, this cannot be important. There is no privacy that can be associated with what I am doing and where I am. And when I am. So how would life be then? How would life be? How many of you have spent time waiting for a train or a plane or something? Hours together? So they declare that the train is 3 hours late and then they declare that it's 6 hours late. And how many of you have found those moments of waiting really joyful and you have danced around in merriment? And you have just called around everybody and congratulated them. Here, boss, my train is again 9 hours late. And you have distributed sweets. And it's an Indian railway platform, mind you, before you raise the So let's be real. Let's be real. Before you say that
Actually, sometimes negativity could be positive. When one of my friends was going to his college and the train was late by 2 hours, then I with my friends enjoyed those
then the end does not lie in the train, right? Then the end lies in the companionship. So we cannot distort the example.
Only one of my friends was going.
Right.
Train was late.
Right. And so there is a companionship. And so there is something else that you are targeting. The target itself has shifted. The target itself has shifted. So we all know that these moments of waiting are irritating, frustrating, and full of boredom. Anybody who places his targets in the future is bound to live an irritated, frustrated, and boring life. Those of us who often wonder that why are our lives so devoid of energy, so sapped of vigor, why are we never able to give our entire being to anything? Why do we often feel distracted and irritated? Those of us who have wondered about that, here is a small hint to them. You may be living a life that is targeted at the future. Because when the future is the target, then the present is bound to become boring and dull. And then you talk of work-life integration. Otherwise, you don't need to talk of things like these. So first you create this great separation because you have been taught to be desirous and ambitious and to run after dreams. And there are holy people who tell you that unless you materialize your dreams, you have done nothing. But then you know, all dreams, there is no dream for right now. All dreams are for there, that place, reaching somewhere there. Now there is a great problem. And that problem you have understood, right? Have you?
Yes.
When you want to reach there, then this is just a means to an end. Unfortunately, you have to live here. That there is a moving target. That is never reached. That is never reached. That always remains as distant as it was in the beginning. You keep on living in this moment and you keep on making it dull and lifeless and loveless because you are targeting that. There's another thing about this thing called ends. Pay attention to it. Whatever you make, and some of it I understand may not be going down too well with many of you because you have worked hard for, or I hope so. You have worked at least a little bit. You have invested yourself into preparing yourself for materializing your dreams. And just as you are coming close to entering what you call the corporate world and materializing your dreams, here is somebody who is coming and telling you that you know these dreams exactly are your pain. These dreams will destroy you. And I'm not talking about a particular kind of dream. I'm not talking of a materialistic dream as opposed to a spiritual dream, as opposed to a family dream, as opposed to a collective or social dream. I'm talking about any dream. Dream of any nature. Do you understand dreams? What is this stuff called dreams? Ambition, target, goal, purpose, whatever you call it. These are all words of the same family. Do we understand them? Where do they come from? Where do dreams come from? Tell me. Where do dreams come from?
Desires.
Desires. Where do they come from?
Expectations.
Where do they come from?
Future expectations.
Where do they come from? Where do they come from?
Future surround.
Where do they come from?
Future.
Alright. Wait. Surroundings, past. It can come from your surroundings, but it is not coming to you right now. It did come from your surrounding sometime in the past. Mind you, you never dream about anything new. Most of us are fond of thinking that we are creating a new glorious future for ourselves, right? That's what we like to think, that I am going to create my own future, a brand new glorious future. Unfortunately, the future that comes out of our thoughts and planning and ambition can never be new. It will just be a dull repetition of the past. Because all your dreams, they come from your past. You can never dream of something that you have not had an experience of. Never. All your dreams come from what is classically called as your conditioning. Your dreams are never yours. We all are conditioned into dreaming. Man of a particular religion dreams in a particular way. Woman dreams in a particular way. Man dreams in a particular way. In one situation, a person dreams in a particular way. Another man of the same age in another situation is dreaming. This just because of the way you have been brought up. Just because of all the experiences that your past has loaded you with. And we call these as our dreams. That these are my dreams. So two things. One, dreams are never new, and second, dreams are never mine. It is a fatal mistake to assume that dreams are ours, to identify ourselves with the dreams. It's a great mistake. It costs us our life. It really costs us our life. All dreams comes from outside, firstly. Second, all dreams come from the past. And then we give ourselves so completely to them. And then we wonder, why is there such great fragmentation and division in my life? And this fragmentation, division, causes great conflict and chaos. There are so many small fragments and they all clash with each other. And then we are so utterly divided. And when we are so divided, then we cry for integration. Before we cry out for integration, why can't we just inquire that where did this fragmentation come from? Where did this division, this separation come from? We create this separation. We create this separation. There is no need for work-life integration. A healthy human being does not need that. It's only when you are grossly sick that you require this kind of medicine. Why to get sick in the first place? You still have a chance. Redeem yourself. Why are you so eager to enter sickness? It's your one life, right? Why are you so eager to firstly get sick and then ask for a cure?
So are you saying setting goals is the reason behind of this whole conflict or chaos?
All I'm saying is, go and find out where do your goals come from.
Okay, I'll give my example.
Alright, I'll give you, giving your own example is a dangerous thing because you are so close to yourself, you can't look at yourself. What is the goal of a terrorist? To kill people. Where does his goal come from?
Expectations.
Where does his goal come from?
So upbringing is training.
You know what?
This partial.
This fellow Kasab was just hanged, and his lawyers, they said that in fact his case was fit to be granted clemency by the president because he was just a teenager when he did all this, and he has been thoroughly conditioned. And he too had his dreams. Where did his dreams come from?
Circumstances.
There are people
Somebody else.
who had conditioned him. It is easy for all of us to see that he had been conditioned into thinking in a particular way, but it is very difficult for us to directly recognize that all of us have been conditioned into thinking in a particular way. It is just that we have created a society which has proclaimed that one kind of thinking is antisocial. So when you think in one particular way, you are labeled a criminal. But when you think in another way, you are not labeled a criminal. The fact still remains that any kind of thinking comes from your situations. It is not yours. It is not yours. Not at all yours. We are all kasabs in that sense. We are all living the lives that have been dictated by somebody else. He was living the life that was given to him by his jihadi masters. And we are living the lives that have been given to us by our parents, society and education. What is the difference? There was no I in Kasab's life. And there is no I in our life either. he too had a goal. And his goal was as dear to him as is yours to you. Try to find out, is there a difference? Is there really a difference? You know, there is this camera which has no intelligence of its own. It can record a beautiful natural scene, and it can also record a horrific murder taking place. You can see what I am saying, right? Do you see what I am saying? Now, will you punish the camera? Will you punish the camera? Your mind may have been filled with one kind of stuff by media, corporations, education, all the case studies that you have read, society, parents, peer groups. Your mind has been filled with one kind of stuff. Somebody else's mind has been filled with another kind of stuff. It's just the content on the hard disk that is different. But we are as unintelligent as any other fellow. One particular hard disk is loaded with Einstein's speeches, and one hard disk is loaded with, say, some stupidity of some kind. Does that make one hard disk superior to the other one? Does that make one hard disk superior to the next one? None of them have anything of their own. None of them have anything of their own. And we are going to enter work life in this fashion. What are we up to? What do we want to do with ourselves? Yes? It's your life that I am talking about. See, what I am saying will be pretty much useless for most of us, because most of us are so damn cruel to ourselves that we don't mind slaughtering ourselves anywhere. That's the way, that's the situation 95% of the mankind find itself in. So you may say anything, I may say anything, but it won't matter to them, because they have developed a deep insensitivity towards themselves. Only if we have a tremendous self-love, only if we really care and bother about ourselves, then what I am saying will make sense. Most of us have no feeling towards ourselves. We live our lives as if it is somebody else's life. And actually it is somebody else's life, because there is hardly anything of mine in this. So then my words are bound to fall on deaf ears. But if we care for ourselves, even a little, if we see that this is one single precious life that we have, and this is the prime of that life, I am young, how can I waste it? If I see that, then I want to go into it. Then I want to inquire. But we have been trained into living lives of cruelty.
So I'm in really big dilemma. I'm not able to understand. Suppose I want to eat something, and for that I need to have money with me. Until or unless I don't have money, nobody is going to give me free of cost. And there are approximately thousands and millions of people who are living like this. If I want to wear something to cover my body, I need to have money. Then I need money, I need to work for me, for others, those who wanted work from me. How should I do this all?
What's your name?
Ravi Kumar.
Ravi. Ravi, how much do you eat? Tell me, how much do you really eat?
It depends what I am eating.
Ravi, whatsoever you are eating, how much can you eat?
That can satisfy my hunger.
Ravi, let's look at it very directly. Whatsoever you are eating, how much can you eat? 2000 kilograms? There's obviously a limit to it, right?
Exactly.
How much can you wear either?
No.
So he knows that there's a limit, right? You see, you are presently in campus. I suppose many of you could be in hostels. You know? All of you? I too have been a resident of hostel, both in my undergraduation and in my post-graduation. You see, my hostel expense when I was doing my BTech here, IIT, per month was not more than 3,000, 4,000 rupees. And that's 15 years back. Same was the case with my batchmates. Alright? And that included the hostel fee as well, the mess charges as well. 3,000, 4,000, and we were so happy. None of us ever complained of shortage of funds. Not at all. The same fellow who is happy with 3,000 rupees in the month of May would be cribbing and sobbing his heart out when he would be entering his job in July, that I am earning only 15,000, and 15,000 was an alright sum in that case. Now what has happened, tell me? He was very happy with 5,000 and now even 15,000 doesn't satisfy him. Has he started eating 3 times the stuff?
But there would be more responsibilities then.
Wait. Don't jump that far. Just look into it, what is happening. So first of all, try to understand that you don't want to earn what you want to earn for the sake of eating and wearing. Get over this notion. For eating and wearing, you need just this much, and that is very easily available without selling yourself anywhere. Or that you demand those loads of money that you dream of. You don't dream of them because you want to have a square meal or because you want to wear nicely. You can eat nicely and you can wear nicely even without doing all those things that people do in those offices. You require money for something else. You require money for something else, and go honestly into that. Why do you require so much of money? Go into that. Why really do you require so much of money? I'll tell you what. You earn 50,000, let's say. That's the cash in hand amount that you get, right? And most of you would be quite happy, more than happy, if that is the post-tax amount that you get in your balance, right? Of that, you are able to spend only 20,000. You spend only 20,000. I am pretty sure even today, 20,000 is sufficient to meet the monthly expense of most of you. Is that true?
Yes.
Most of you would be within that limit. Well within that limit. So you earn 50,000, you spend 20, and what do you do with that 30? Now what is this saving all about? Future. And what do you want to do with it in the future?
Live dreams.
Huh?
Luxurious lifestyle.
You imagine that you will do something with it in the future. You imagine that you will do something with it in the future. Now, is that 30,000 coming to you for free? When are you paying the price for that 30,000? Today. And when do you imagine that you will reap the benefits? There is a problem. There is a problem. But what do? You have been told to sacrifice the present for the sake of tomorrow. That's what all good middle class people do. Sacrifice today for the sake of tomorrow. And nobody has come over and told a simple thing, that tomorrow grows from today. From a today that has already been sacrificed, a healthy tomorrow cannot come. If you take a seed, if you take a rotten seed, can a healthy tree come out from it? What is the seed? What is the seed? The present. And what is the tree?
The future.
And what is our grand hope? That by compromising on the seed, we'll get a very healthy future. That by compromising on the seed, we'll get a very healthy future. You must ask me, sir, how are we compromising on the seed? In the same way as you compromise on listening to me when you are thinking about the future. The moment you start setting a goal, the moment you start living a target-driven life, you have already compromised the future, the present. Because any thought of the future takes you away from the present. So what are we doing? In our great wisdom, we are destroying the seed and dreaming that the tree would be wonderful. We are killing the seed and dreaming that the tree would be wonderful. Now, is that the way life works? Can this give you any joy? On the other hand, if I just take care of the seed, because I really bother about it, because I am in love with the seed, because I am in love with the present, I am immersed in the present, will not a nice, healthy plant naturally grow out of it, even without my asking, even without my demanding? Are you getting it? Do I really need to set a goal and work towards it? Do I really need to set a goal and work towards it? But this goes against all that you have heard and read so far. All you have known is set a target and then chase it like a madman. Set a goal. And goal setting has been perfected into a fine art. I am asking you, even if you forget about the tree and just take care of the seed, will the tree not naturally spring out of it? Yes, the tree may not be as per your wishes. It will be a pleasant surprise. But the tree would nevertheless spring out of the seed. You don't need to plan for it. Are you getting it?
Sir, there are two kinds of people who get failure in their life. First one, who do a lot but don't even think for 1 second for future. Second one, who think a lot about the future but don't do anything in present.
So, what do you mean by failure?
Failure means if I am going to give a seed in a field for a tree, but I am not thinking that after 15 or 20 days, PWD department is going to make a road on that way. There would not be future of my seed.
No, wait. There is difference between dreaming and projecting. There is a great difference between dreaming and projecting. With a dream is associated a desire, and with a projection is just associated the intelligence of looking into the future. I am not desiring, I am just projecting, just like the weather forecast. There is no desire associated with it. I am looking into it, and that is the function of intelligence. That is the function of intelligence. There is no desire in that. But going to that, what do you mean by failure, first of all? What do you mean by success?
whatever I am aspiring for,
So dreams.
if I will not get
Dreams.
all my
Wait.
work, whatever I am doing,
Wait. Just hold, stop there. Dreams. There is no question of failure unless I decide that that constitutes a success.